Hey guys, I'm Lauren from MamaRobinson.com, where I like to talk about natural living and motherhood, and today we are talking about cloth diapering skinny babies. We got off to a pretty rocky start when we first started cloth diapering, and that was due to a number of factors, such as not knowing how to do laundry. We had a whole bunch of microfiber inserts, which we soon found out were pretty much good for nothing. And then a lot of the diapers that we had were also hand-me-downs, and I don't think the people that gave them to us realized that they were starting to really wear out and fall apart. So after using them for a while and them leaking a whole bunch, we realized that they were actually delaminating, which definitely makes for some leaky diapers. But the other issue that we kept running into was that our baby was just really, really small. She was born at 6 pounds, and she was also really, really skinny and had really, really skinny thighs. And what we found is a lot of cloth diapers are made for babies with those big chunky thighs, and our daughter just didn't have those. She was really skinny. This is true of just a lot of baby clothing and kids apparel in general. They're made for kids that were bigger than my first percentile baby, so you just learn which brands work and which ones don't for your kid. So today we're going to talk about which cloth diapers specifically ended up working the best for my small petite baby. In addition to specific brands that we used on our baby, we'll also get into just a few things to look for when picking out a cloth diaper for your skinnier baby to help you be successful. Sadie is now 3 years old, and we're only cloth diapering at night since she potty trained during the day, and we cloth diapered full-time from 6 months up till now. So cloth diapering a skinny baby is definitely doable. You just have to learn how to do it and what to look for. So my first suggestion is, if you have a smaller newborn or if you are expecting a smaller newborn, is to go ahead and invest in a newborn stash. Now, I know everybody says that newborn diapers are not worth it, especially newborn cloth diapers, and I followed that advice, but that advice ended up hurting me. Now, again, this totally depends. If you have an average size 8-pound baby, then it might be totally and completely true that newborn diapers will only fit your baby for about a month or so. But my 6-pound baby ended up fitting into her newborn diapers for about 3 months. And those were newborn disposables, not newborn cloth. Now, my plan with my daughter, because everybody said don't get newborn diapers, don't get newborn clothes, was I was going to use disposables for the first month while we got used to our new routine with a newborn, and then I would transition to one-size cloth diapers. That was my plan. So after about a month, I tried a cloth diaper on her, and she was swimming in it. It was absolutely huge. So I was like, okay, no problem. We'll just wait another month. Babies grow so fast. She'll fit into it in a month, I'm sure. So another month went by, and we tried a diaper on her again, and it was still huge. That kept going on, and she didn't start fitting into one-size diapers until she was about 6 months old. Now, granted, the diapers that we had did run a little bit bigger, so had I gotten some smaller cut diapers, which we will get into, they probably would have fit her a little bit sooner. However, in hindsight, I really wish we would have gotten a newborn stash for her. I think that would have fixed a lot of problems. The other thing is that newborn diapers are made to fit those skinny little legs that newborns have, and a lot of other one-size cloth diapers aren't built that way. So this is a newborn diaper that I have. Now, like I said, we did not use newborn diapers on Sadie, so I haven't actually gotten to test these out yet, but I've heard some really good reviews on them. We just have these on hand for someday for a future baby. And this one is the Cloth Ease Wrap size 0. You can get it from Green Mountain Diapers, but I just want to show you, look how tiny that leg hole is, like 1 finger. That's how tiny it is. Now, this is probably one of the smallest diaper covers out there. So if you're expecting a small baby, like 6 pounds, this might be a good one to try. So I'm excited to try that someday. But I just wanted to show you how tiny those leg holes get. And that's why newborn cloth diapers are so great. Now, even if the baby that you have is more average size, like 8 pounds, but their build is just a lot skinnier, I still think a newborn stash is a good idea, but maybe just get ones that run a little bit bigger. So for example, I also have, this is the Buttons cover, and this is the Nikki's newborn cover. So Buttons newborn and Nikki's newborn. And both of these run quite a bit bigger. You can see it compared to the Green Mountain diapers. And they get a lot bigger than this. Like if I unsnap it here. So fully unsnapped, it looks like that. So these get pretty big. Some people, if you have a baby that is built a little bit smaller, are still putting their babies in this at around 12 months. I can't promise you that. Probably most babies will not fit into it at 12 months, but the point is that they are cut bigger and that they fit longer, so it's a pretty good investment if you have a more average sized baby. They can wear it for a long time, and then when they're growing out of this, they'll be ready to fit into the one size diapers. But you'll still have a diaper that's designed with those smaller leg gussets to fit around those skinny legs. Another piece of advice besides the newborn covers is to choose a two-piece diaper system. For some reason, whenever I tried the pocket diapers, they just never really seemed to work for me. I usually got leaks. Now, one exception was the Bum Genius pocket diapers. Those ones worked really well for me. In fact, if I was going out and about and I didn't want her to have any leaks, I would grab a Bum Genius because I knew that that one would contain what I needed it to contain. And those ones were cut a little bit smaller too, so I really liked that. That might be a good option. But the thing that I ran into with the Bum Genius pocket diapers is the elastics relax in the leg gussets. So for a few months they were good, but then once those elastics started relaxing, they weren't really good for anything anymore. However, I have heard that Bum Genius has improved their elastics since then, so it might be worth a try to look into that. But they do also have their flip cover, which is, I've never used the flip cover, but I have heard that it's basically built the exact same way as the Bum Genius. So all of that was a very roundabout way to say that most pocket diapers didn't work very well for me, but something about having a two-piece system seemed to take care of a lot of the leaks and just get a better fit around those leg gussets. So all in twos, prefolds and covers, flats and covers, fitteds and covers. Those are all great options and a better alternative, I thought, to pocket diapers. Now, that was my experience. Some people love pocket diapers, but they just didn't work out that well for me. Another thing is to read those cloth diaper reviews carefully. Reviews are great for getting an idea of whether or not a diaper cover is going to be good for you, but you have to think a little bit critically when you're looking at those reviews. So for example, I would always look at reviews and I would see these complaints about a cloth diaper cover that would leave deep red marks around a baby's chunky thighs. And I would steer clear of that cover because I'm like, oh my goodness, well, I don't want my daughter to have deep, uncomfortable red marks. Now, just a side note, some light little pink marks around their legs are normal. It's just like compression marks like you would get from a sock, but you don't want them to be deep and really red either. So I would steer clear of those covers. But then later I realized that a lot of the covers that were getting the complaints about those deep red marks and not fitting around their baby's thighs is because those babies had chunkier thighs. My baby had skinny thighs, not chunky thighs, so that was not something that I needed to worry about. In fact, if I saw those complaints about leaving red marks on a baby's thighs, it would probably be a good choice for my baby because that means it fits tighter around the thighs. And for my skinny baby, it would work well, even though for that baby, it did not. So things to think about when you're looking at those reviews. Another idea is to consider folding the pre-fold onto your baby instead of doing a pad fold. So in case you guys don't know, this is a pad fold. This is where you just take the pre-fold and you fold it in thirds and you just lay it right into the cover. And that works great, and to be honest, that was what I did most of the time, just because it's so easy. But I did find later on that if you actually do the more old-fashioned fold and wrap it around your baby like that with a snappy, that you can get a little bit of a better fit because there's not as much bulk between the legs. The bulk is more spread out around the baby, and you can get a little bit of a better fit around the legs that way. So that was another tip that I learned. Now on that note, it depends in part what kind of diaper cover you have. So, which leads me to my next point, is to look for smaller cut diaper covers. A diaper cover with a smaller cut will usually, I found, fit a little bit better on a skinnier baby. So 2 diaper covers that worked well for me was the Buttons cover and the Best Bottoms cover. And these covers are almost identical, but the main difference is that this one has 3 rise snaps. You can't see it here because I can unsnap it, but they have 3 rise snaps. And then the Best Bottom one has 4 rise snaps. Now the Best Bottom ones, the snaps are a little bit closer together than with the Buttons, so I found that to help me get a little bit more of an exact fit, but they're both really good covers. I liked them both. These covers are made to work with a snap-in insert. So here's the Best Bottom cover. It has this snap-in insert. But the way that I usually used it was just with a pad folded pre-fold like that, just laid in the cover. So if you're going to use all-in-two covers like this, that's what these are, where they have the snap-in insert. If you're going to use all-in-two covers, I found that those ones work best for pad folding because they're just not roomy enough to do the wraparound fold with the snappy. You can do it, it just involves a lot more tucking to make sure the pre-fold gets under the cover. So I have done it before, but these ones work better with pad folding. In fact, these are actually my favorite type of cover to use if I'm going to pad fold a diaper. Because if you have a more roomy cover, and this is the other option, this one worked well for me too, this is the Nicky's diaper cover. If you have a more roomy cover, I found that, and you try to pad fold, I found that it just kind of droops a little bit and you get these big gaps in the thighs. So these roomier covers I found work better for when you want to actually fold the pre-fold around the baby, or with a fitted. These ones would work well for that too. Now, one thing about the Nicky's diaper cover I will say is it does run a little bit bigger. So this won't fit your baby until they're a little bit older. But like I said earlier, they do have their newborn cover too. So if you want to try out the Nicky's, you can try the newborn size first if you want to try it when your baby is younger. But even though they run a little bit bigger, there was something about them that I just didn't usually seem to get leaks with these covers. Even though, you know, the fit around the legs wasn't perfect, but I didn't get leaks, which was really weird. I can't figure it out. So I really like these covers, which is interesting because then this is a Rumparoo's cover, and a lot of people really like this cover. And when I first tried it on my baby, I thought I was in love because I got the best little fit around her legs. And it was a nice, roomy, full coverage diaper, which I really liked. But even though I got a perfect fit, this one always leaked. So I would go for the Nickies. But a lot of people do have success with the Rumparoos, so I wouldn't say to not try it. It might work for you. So I did get a really good fit about it, but I don't know if it was just the material. Something about it, I got leaks around the legs. The Nickies cover, I did not. I really liked this one. But like I said, the roomy covers are better for fitteds and for folding the Prefold or the flat around your baby. The all-in-two diaper covers that are a little bit more trim are better for that pad fold. Now that being said, I mostly used Prefolds instead of the snap-in inserts because it was just a lot more affordable and it fit better for my budget. But this is the only snap-in insert that I have. But I did notice I do seem to get a little bit of a better fit around the legs with the snap-in insert because it's trimmer and we don't have that bulk pushing on the gussets. So that's something to consider if you'd rather get the snap-in inserts. I wouldn't recommend getting the microfiber ones. This one is bamboo and it works pretty good. But even though I get a better fit with the snap-in inserts, I would still say that the Prefolds are more absorbent. So it's a trade-off. They both work well. You just decide what you like better. Now another thing that I've noticed, but this is kind of hard to find, is these diapers that side snap. This is a fitted diaper. This is the Baby Behinds Night Nappy, which is why it's so big, because it's an overnight diaper. But this one is a little bit more unique because instead of snapping in the front here, they snap on the sides. And I have found that diapers that have snaps like that fit a lot better around the legs. Those are a little bit harder to find, but they do exist. So this is the Baby Behinds Night Nappy. We really like it if you're looking for an overnight diaper. And I have a whole video about our overnight system. I'll link that below. But that's a good choice and something to look forward to. And the other thing, just with snaps in general, so you have, like this one has vertical snaps. And then the Buttons diaper has horizontal snaps. So the nice thing about the vertical snaps is you can like snap one in on the bottom and snap it out on the top. Like if you need it looser in the waist but smaller in the legs. But then the ones that are made with these horizontal snaps I have found to just be a smaller kind of trimmer diaper in general. And the hip snaps also, these outer ones out here are what's called the hip snaps, but those just kind of tend to help hold the diaper up so that this part doesn't droop down. Because if I unsnap that, you see how this can be pulled down and can kind of get droopy, and that makes it bigger in the gussets. So there's pros and cons to both, but I just thought I would mention that little tidbit. You can decide what your preference is. Everybody has their preference. I like both for different reasons, so I don't have a super strong preference. Okay, so my last piece of advice is to consider using wool diaper covers if you can, if it's in your budget. I know that wool is really intimidating at first. I steered clear of wool for a long time because it was expensive. You had to hand wash it. I hate hand washing clothes, so why would I want to hand wash a wool diaper cover? But I decided to take the plunge because I needed something better for my daughter's overnight system. So I decided to get wool, and I have fallen in love with wool. I was actually telling my husband if we have another baby, I think for any new diaper covers that we need, as diaper covers start wearing out and we need to replace them, I think I might just want to get wool to replace everything because it works so well. Hand washing it isn't really even that big of a deal because you don't have to wash it that often where it's antimicrobial. So really, with her wool covers, I only wash them like maybe once a month. I know that sounds gross, but they don't stink, and yeah, they work fine. And where they're antimicrobial, they really don't need to be washed more than that. So this one is the baby behinds, and the reason that I'm bringing it up for skinny babies is you see how these leg cuffs kind of come out? And I was a little concerned about whether or not that would fit around her legs, but it gets the most perfect little fit around her legs, which is awesome. So if you can find a pull-on wool diaper cover, that's the kind that I like. And these are great for husbands too, because they just pull on and they don't have to deal with the snaps and trying to make sure they get the perfect fit in the legs. It just pulls on like a pair of shorts and you're good to go. So if you can find a pull-on wool diaper cover with these cuffs that come out, and of course, every cover is going to be different. Some of them might be cut a little bit bigger in the legs, and some of them might be cut a little bit smaller. Like I said, this one is the baby behinds. This works well for my skinny 3-year-old at night. You can find this one at Gemma and Way. Another retailer that has a lot of really good options is Green Mountain Diapers. They have lots of good wool options. And Sloom has some good wool covers too. I haven't tried their wool covers, but I have tried their fitted, and that is pretty awesome. I really like their overnight fitted. So wool is more expensive. You know, not only is the diaper cover itself more expensive, but you also have to buy the multiple sizes. And I think that's a big reason that a lot of people steer clear of it, but it is something to consider if it's in your budget. Another thing to consider for your budget is you don't need as many of them as you do of the PUL covers. So even though you are going to spend more on wool, but it's not as much as you might think. Once I did the math, I was surprised at the difference. I think for like birth to potty training, I think I was going to spend maybe a couple $100 more total for wool covers, which can be significant for some people. But I don't know, it might be worth it because you really only need a few of them and they work really, really well. In addition to the pull-on covers, you can also get longies. And these are nice because you don't have to worry about the fit in the legs as much, and they can double as pants, which is great too. So we really like these longies. Sadie loves when she gets to wear them because they're so comfortable. I will put the links for a lot of those diaper covers that I mentioned down below, so you guys can go check those out if you want to. Some of those are affiliate links, particularly the ones that take you to Amazon, so I do get a small commission if you buy anything through those links, but it is at no extra cost to you. As always, be sure to hit the like button if this video was helpful for you, and be sure to subscribe. If you have cloth diapered a skinny baby and you found some brands or some particular styles that worked well for you, please let us know in the comments below, because I know other people have tried things that I have not, and I would love to hear what has worked for you, and I'm sure everybody else would find it helpful also. We'll see you next time, guys.